side. Lay down your hood, lay down your pride. When you're lost, can't find your light, I'll carry you through the darkness night. Today is today, and it ain't yesterday. And tomorrow is a promise we can't write. So we should say all the words that we refuse to say, so we might find the good out of the bad. Lay down your burden, lay it by my side. Lay down your hood, lay down your pride. When you're lost, can't find the light, I'll carry you the darkness night. Today is today, and ain't yesterday. And tomorrow is a promise we don't have. So we should say all the words that we refuse to say, so we might find the good out of the bad. Lay down your burden, lay it by my side. Lay down your hood, lay down your pride. When you're lost, can't find the light, I'll carry you through the darkest night. Good morning. And one of my favorite songs from Chris Stapleton for a movie called Burden. Did you see it?
Not yet.
Oh. But anyway, nice to see you guys. What's that? And here's Tim to start the service.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Unity of Michiana. Both here in the room and online, we welcome you here this morning, and we're glad you're here. Our mission is that we are a heart-centered, multi-generational, and diverse spiritual community dedicated to teaching and practicing a positive life approach on our spiritual journey. Happy November. Today is our birthday day, so anybody that's watching online, if you have a birthday, please send a message in, and so that Susan can be aware of that. We'll be singing happy birthday to you all just a little bit later. I would like to go ahead and light the Christ candle. The Christ candle is a representative, the way that we represent the Christ light that we all have within us. It's a symbol that we use to recognize, to know that we are all from one source. We all come from the same place. And I will go ahead and do that now. We'll go ahead and bow our heads if you so choose to do so for an opening prayer. We'll take a moment just to breathe together, connecting into that deeper place within you where you feel a connection to yourself and to others, both here in the room and across the world, and a deeper connection to spirit. We take a moment with gratitude in our heart for the sacred time that we have set aside to nourish our souls. Amen. And then I would like to ask Natalie to come forward and bring the prayer box with you. And Catherine, bless the children, please.
I ask that you all rub your hands together and repeat after me. We see you surrounded in the light of God.
We see you surrounded in the light of God.
And we hold you close in our hearts.
And we hold you close in our hearts.
Are we ready for birthdays? Is that where we're at?
Yep.
Okay, so anybody here in the room have birthdays in November? Patty, Chrissy, come on up. How about online? Anybody? John?
Hey, John.
You feel like coming up? All right, that's fine. All right. Susan, is there anybody online that has posted any birthdays?
No, but we do have some other people I want to mention. Keith Andrews,
Okay, so Keith Andrews,
Jolene Krause,
Jolene Krause,
Teresa Anderson,
Teresa Anderson,
and Bill Singler.
and Bill Singler all have birthdays this month, so we wish all of you a very, very happy birthday. So whenever you're ready, John. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you. You are wonderful. God is blessing you now. Thank you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, everyone. And John, I'll turn it over to you for the opening music.
All right. We used to do this for the kids' walk-up song, but it's really good for Christy's message today. I'm walking like haven't seen the second verse very many times. This one's kind of a fun one, and it reflects Chrissy's message and how I've been feeling with Tuesday coming up, if you know what I mean. Look at the person next to you, so you recognize it God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary, so recognize it. We come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together. We come together in the name of love. Look at the person next to you. Say God loves you and loves you too. You feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. Everybody now. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together, we come together, in the name of love. For every walk of life, in every creed and color, together we unite, in honor of the good in each other. Person next to you, say namaste, I live with you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Come and read after me. We come together, we come together, where we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together. Come together, name of love.
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. A couple of things. First of all, Colleen was supposed to be up here, and she's from the Board of Trustees. She is sick today, so we want to take a moment just to wish her well and that she gets feeling better soon. And today's talk will be from our board president. And very exciting. I'm not sure. What was the topic again?
Hope moving to the light.
Hope moving to the light. Awesome. In Unity, we have a daily word. It's a daily publication for each day of the year that gives some hope and inspiration for our daily spiritual life. And as soon as I find it up here, you said it's up here? Oh, you're going to read it? Okay, great. I'm going to have Chrissy come up and read it for us.
Good morning, everyone. Today's word is seasons. Throughout the seasons of life, my Christ light shines brightly. When winter follows autumn, harvest, and the sun's light grows weaker, what may resemble barren land is actually a time of rest, a preparation and warmth, and a cycle of the new seasons. The sun's light and warmth change in ways that perfectly suit each season. Our lives, like the planet, move through the seasons, the awakening of wonder in childhood, exciting and sometimes stormy growth during adolescence and early childhood, the achievement of the middle years, and the full fulfillment that maturity can bring. The Christ presence, the divine light within me, is unfailing source of strength, understanding, and comfort in every season of life. And from Genesis 1, verse 14, and God said, "Let there be lights in the dome of the sky to separate the day from night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." The word for today is seasons, and the affirmation is, throughout the seasons of life, our Christ light shines brightly.
Thank you, Chrissy, for that. And we're going to slow things down a little bit and take a moment just for ourselves, just a moment of quiet time, a moment of peace, a moment to slow your mind down, to slow down some of the chatter. Just begin to calm yourself down from the busy week that we've had. We do that just by beginning to notice our breathing. We just begin to notice, take some deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Beginning to let your body relax. Beginning to notice how you feel. Notice your body and the sensations that are within. Shifting your focus now to areas of tension, apprehension, maybe fear, and really breathe into those and begin to let some of that tension go. Just really begin to relax. Observe the situations that have happened and arose this past week. Try to approach them without judgment, without resistance. Begin to release those things that no longer serve you and begin to let go. When you breathe in gratitude. Breathe in deep. Breathe out and let the resistance go. Notice your body, every movement, and thank your body for what we have considered to be ordinary but yet miracles that it performs for us every day. Digesting our food, giving us energy, releasing toxins, healing our scrapes and bruises. Keep breathing. Last week we focused inward a little bit. We are now going to begin to focus our attention outward a little bit more. Broaden your awareness to others around you, to others in your life. Maybe to some others that you've had in a disagreement with. People that you do disagree with. Imagine for a moment what it looks like from their perspective. What do they feel? How did they become to feel that way? What do they see? How do they understand it to be that way? And how did it come to be that they can understand it the way they do that you disagree with? You can do this. It is difficult, but you can do it. You really go there. It's hard to release our own feelings and emotions. But yet it's so necessary to do to begin to get a fuller understanding of what opposing viewpoints look like and how they feel. Keep breathing and keep relaxing further. Breathe into the calm and allow yourself understanding of the entire situation. Doesn't mean you agree with it, doesn't mean you surrender to it, doesn't mean that you are right and they are wrong, or vice versa. just allow yourself some understanding. I'm going to tone the singing bowl, and as we do that, we'll resonate at the tone of the heart chakra. Keep breathing as I do that. Let the sound resonate through you, into you, and bring some calm to your spirit. Keep breathing into the understanding, realizing that we are all individuals. We all have very unique and individual lives, and therefore different understandings of the world, different experiences, different conclusions. There is no right and there is no wrong. The universe requires both to offer clarity and contrast. We'll take a moment of silence as we keep breathing and keep our attention focused on understanding. We'll keep our eyes closed for just a moment longer. But we will also realize and recognize other viewpoints. Realizing that they are people too. Disagreement is okay. We can disagree without giving up what we hold so dear and close to our hearts. It's just another facet of our behavior as humans. We offer them and ourselves healing as we also offer healing and prayer in the highest light to prayers, requests that have been put into our prayer box. We send those prayers up like fountains through the floors of heaven to a higher place. Higher recognition. For the best of all involved. Amen.
Lead me to the light. Lead me to the light. Help me to make it through. Lead me into the light. Lead me to the light. Lead me to the light. Help me to make it through. Lead me into the light. This is a song I performed like about 6 weeks ago. I don't normally do songs right away after the first performance, or two performances close together, but it perfectly fits Chrissy's message. Not that I'm making any excuse or anything, but plus I wanted to play it again because the first time is always a little rough on a new song. Okay. Well, there's something magical, it's in the air. People walk smiling for no reason, spreading the love here and everywhere. People carrying it every season. No longer do we have to wait in fear, walk in the sun and blue sky. Everyone join the march as it nears. Together we'll let our love shine. Oh, making a comeback. Jump back, Jack, open your heart and make some room. I said now ho, well it's making a comeback. If you don't see it now, just open up your heart. I tell you, you see it soon. Well, there's power in your laughter and your light. People see it, it reflects on you. Though some may kick you down, it is our plight, but that's only the way of food. It's up to us to be the antidote to this darkness and the division. It's a work of love that is quite remote. We know that hope will fulfill our vision. And I hope is making a comeback. Prepare yourself, we have to make some room. I said hope is making a comeback. If you don't see it now, just open up your heart. I tell you, you see it soon. But only recently I've come to realize there's been a pain I've been carrying in the pit of my soul. I want to hold your hand and whisper in your ear that I think the dark clouds are about to disappear. Oh, the shadows will disappear. I said now hope is making a comeback. Now jump back, Jack, and prepare yourself. We got to make some room. I said now hope is making a comeback. If you don't see it now, just open up your heart. You're bound to see it soon. I said hope is here. Hope is here. Hope is here. Hope is here. A blessed day to you, my friend. Hope is here. All clean in color, be the perfect blend. Hope is here. Say it again and again and again. Hope is here. Love will always prevail in the end. Hope is here. Is that a little loud? It's okay. Thank you. Seemed a little loud, but
Hope is making a comeback. What does that mean? What is that all about? Hershey Smith, our board president, is here to take a deep dive into that so that we can have a better understanding of what that's all about. So right now, Chrissy, come on up.
Well, good morning, everybody. So thank you, John. I love unity. I mean, unity brings so much joy into my life and has led me to many things. And think about what just happened this morning in the beginning of this. So many things came together around my message. People knew what my message was, but they didn't know the crux of what's in here. But that song, he wrote that 6 weeks ago, and it was perfect for today. I knew a month ago that I was giving this talk today, and when I agreed to talk today, I'm like, 3 days before the election, You know, there's a lot of anxiety going on. So I'm like, it immediately came to me, I want to do a talk on hope and moving to the light. And there were messages already spoken today about that light. So here I go. I am the board president of Unity, and I am glad that you all are here in person and online, and I hope that we might get out of here early because I already practiced this and it was a little short, but I'll add, from my heart. I've got notes, but I also will do things from my heart. So yeah, hope, moving to the light. We all know the sayings, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. The opposite of hope is fear. And fear feeds anxiety, brings on weariness, and can result in anger. One of my favorite authors and human beings on the earth is Brené Brown. And she said, hope is a function of struggle. We develop hope not during the easy and comfortable times, but through adversity and discomfort. The result of this struggle is growth. How and what we learn from this struggle. That was all pretty heavy, and the elephant in the room is what's going on in our nation today, and there were words today spoken in music and in words about in Colleen's meditation about understanding people's differences and that we all have to come together. So I guess my question to you is, knowing that this is coming up in the next few days, and about that definition of fear. For me, the definition of fear is future events appearing real. And you can fixate on that, and you can get into that, thinking, well, this is going to happen. If this happens, then this is going to happen. But that's a future event that we don't have any control over. So it's a big topic about hope today, but I hope to give you a little insight about where my heart is and what gives me pause today and what gives me concern, but also what uplifts me. This week's kind of a big journey for me. Yes, it's my birthday. It's the election. But it's also the 6th anniversary of the loss of my husband, Al, is this week as well. So there's a lot weighing on my heart, and I know that we all have grief in our life. And grief can be the loss of someone that we love. It can be the loss of a job. It can be the loss in so many different ways. And that hope kind of goes along with loss, because that's what I embraced as I walked that journey 6 years, started that journey walk 6 years ago, and still walk it today. And hope has been a big part of my life in that. So I guess my question to you then, I go back to that, is how have you navigated the last several months, and how are we going to navigate the next few days and weeks, because we know that the results of the election probably will not be known on Tuesday, so we have to hold on to that. At least we don't have those commercials to listen to anymore. So in September, I still take the newspaper, like the hard copy newspaper. But in September, there were several articles about hope. And so I cut them out in September, not knowing that this was coming, like John, writing his song 6 weeks ago. But those articles were entitled Hope in America, Finding Hope in Small Towns. And there are towns all over our country named Hope. And so they talk to people living in those towns named Hope. Excuse me. And one of the other articles was the reasons that give us hope. So I kind of reflected back on those, and it was nice to reread those back through and to kind of think about where I am in my journey of hope. I'm now a student of history because when I was young and in school, I wasn't. Yes, thank you. When I was in school, I wasn't studying history. I was all about the boys and the horses. And I was living in a time that was really, really saturated with turbulent times and a lot of history. But I wasn't living it then, but I am now. So here's some messages from presidents, past presidents, American presidents considered the greatest in history, that have struck themes of hope in times more desperate than we're in now. Abraham Lincoln, in his first inaugural address, as the Civil War loomed upon the nation, he called for Americans to tap the better angels of our nature. That really resonated with me. During the depths of the Depression, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, in his first inaugural address, also counseled the country, very famous saying, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." So I have one other president to share his words with you. I just got back from a trip out on the East Coast, Cape Cod to be exact, and I visited a very small JFK, thank you, John. I visited a very small JFK museum in Hyannisport, Massachusetts. I walked in, and it was in a very, everything's old out there, right? I walked into, it was an old building, and I walked into the first room, and it was small, and there were pictures on the walls and a video on the TV screen playing, and I just was kind of surrounded by him and what was going on at that time, and I was overcome. I started crying, but it was very moving for me, and I was really glad that I went there. And it didn't take us very long to get through the whole museum, but it was very, very powerful. But a few of his quotes that he said that I love is, "Let us not emphasize all on which we differ, but all we have in common. Let us consider not what we fear separately, but what we share together." And another quote of his, "There can be no progress if there is no faith in tomorrow." And the last one from him is, this one is poignant for me, "Hold fast to the past, but move fast to a better future." I like that one because sometimes I move too fast and we have to slow down and hold into this present moment. One of my daily readers, again, I come back to all of the things that have happened surrounding this talk and the messages that are coming from all different areas, but I have several daily readers that I read each morning when I do my prayers and meditation, and the one on Friday that I read was on hope. I mean, that was the title of it, was Hope. This is Friday. And I want to share that with you. It was kind of a God thing that it showed up when I needed it. So this is the reading. And it spoke to me. I hope it speaks to you. "I have hope, that magic thing that I have lost or misplaced. The future looks dark no more. I don't even look at it except when necessary to make plans. I try to let the future take care of itself. The future will be made up of todays and todays, stretching out as short as now or as long as eternity. Hope is justified by many right nows, by the rightness of the present. Faith is the messenger that bears our prayers to God. Prayer can be like incense, rising higher and higher. The prayer of faith is the prayer of trust that feels the presence of God, which it rises to meet. We can say a prayer of thanks every day to God for His grace, a prayer to God with faith and trust and gratitude." And that was the end of the reading. I hope you enjoyed that. So, moving toward the light, John's selection for the meditation song was perfect. You know, I mean, there are several that we do after our meditation, but thank you, John, for including that. That was helping us to think about moving towards that light, the hope of moving towards the light, because hope lights the way. It gives us resilience to endure. It encourages us to empathy and compassion. I love that, hope and compassion. A fundamental aspect of the human experience that we should all be cultivating is that compassion. Hope unites communities and drives social change, making our world better. We each have the right to unfettered hope. And hope is the light we seek, the light of divine order. I love that unity helps to teach me, and I hope that you feel that too, the energy in this room, the divine light, the divine peace in this day, today, and in this week, and in the months, and in the years to come in the future, because that's what it's all about. So my trip to Cape Cod, my friend and I stayed with an older couple, and they were just lovely. They actually live in a house that was built in 1703, moved from Nantucket to Cape Cod, and we actually stayed in that section of the house, which was really cool. But the gentleman is a minister, and he also is a doctor of theology, and we were standing in their little library, their big library, and he pulls this book off the shelf, and it's huge, and it's bound. And it was his dissertation that he wrote in 1974. And the dissertation, and it was big, it was huge. The dissertation was on the power of hope. he didn't know that I was going to be talking about this today, and he hands it to me, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to take it upstairs and I'll read it, in the evening. And so I thumbed through it, and there were things that, went over my head, but there were things that really spoke to me. And I loved the fact that he did his dissertation working with a group of people on the power of hope, and it was surrounding grief. And I found that so poignant for me then, because when I was there, I had moments of grief for the loss of my husband. And I was like, it feels strange that still comes, but it has to come, and that's the power of our innate spirit helping us to heal. As I was thumbing through it, trying to absorb everything that he had written and done, and it was really cool. Wrote it again, I don't know if I said this, he wrote it in 1974, but it still rang true today. But one of the sayings that he had in there that I loved was, and I quote, "Hopelessness begins with a fear of the freedom God has given us to live without all the answers to our lives." I'll read that again, because I had to read it again, and then I had to write it down, and then I had to read it again. Hopelessness begins with the fear of freedom, Hopelessness begins with the fear of the freedom God has given us to live without all the answers in our lives. Meaning that what I take from that is, I don't have all the answers in my life. I didn't know Al was going to die. I didn't know that, what my life looked like now. I don't have the answers to my life tomorrow or next year, but God does, and my faith does. And that it's kind of intertwined. The hope has to come along with faith, and it also has to come along with love. Faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. But right now we need that hope, but we also have to have faith. So my takeaways today, I want you to think this week as we move through this crazy week, is what is your definition? How do you define hope in your life? What do you hope for next week or in the future? Living in today, the today's in eternity, but what's your hope? And having that faith. And the other takeaway is that I hope that you hold that hope and faith close to your heart every day in prayer, lifting it up and holding it in your heart, because having that will lead us to the divine light. That will take us where we need to go. And my favorite saying, my favorite Bible verse, and it rang true very, very much when I was taking care of my husband before, during, and after, still holds true for me today, and I hope that it holds true for you today too, is Hebrews 11, verse 1. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Have hope, have faith. Thank you.
Hope, faith, and love. Very powerful. And I would also insert truth into that as well. Back to our meditation. A lot of the meditation was based on perspective, looking at things from a certain point of view. We look at things. Let me. People on this side of the room might say, "Hey, your hair's a little whack." People on this side of the room might say, "No, your hair looks fine. Looks fine from here." They can both be right. It's just in how you're looking at it. You see it over here, yeah, it does look a little crazy. You look at it from the other side, yeah, I can understand that, yeah, it looks fine to me. We all have a responsibility to seek the truth I need to know, is it off or is it right? Seek that truth when you make those decisions. Take the time, this having to do with elections, and I'm speaking off the cuff here, but take the time to turn the TV channel to an opposing viewpoint. Sit there and listen. Judge what they are saying using truth as your guide. Does it ring true to you? Is it real? Does it feel right? Does it feel like it's true? Judge what the candidates are saying. Judge what you see, what you hear. Process it. If you're if my daughter is at risk of losing her life to sepsis because she can't get the health care that she needs, is that an overreaction? Is that like, oh, that's just somebody talking, that's not real, that's never going to happen? That couldn't be the case. You have a responsibility to seek the truth and find out if that is the case. Because if it is, we can all be pro-life. Absolutely. And at the same time, we can be pro-choice. Personally, I feel what a woman decides is her business. It's not anybody else's. Look at some of the other issues. Our freedoms could be at stake. Can they not? Our liberties, our rights. I don't know, but I don't think that the forefathers who came up with this grand, divinely inspired plan to run a country would like hearing that their plan could be thrown out. I don't think that was in the plan. I don't think it was ever designed to be that way. Dictator for a day. I didn't see that in the Constitution anywhere, did you? I didn't. I didn't see that it was okay to be a dictator for a day, or to have a day of outright policing, unjust policing. I don't think that's right. It's just me. That's my viewpoint. I think you all should seek your truths as well. Chrissy, you want to come up here and help me close this? No? All right. I'm going to turn to the right page, and when I get there, we're going to go ahead and begin to close this service. But I really think that our vote is our voice. Use your voice wisely. It's not easy for me to come up here and stand. I bombed earlier, but it happens. It's part of it. Use your voice. Use your vote. Use your right. Make a difference. It does matter. As you've heard me say before up here, unity is self-sufficient. Our church supports itself. We do that on our own standing. We do that with our own of our own responsibility, of our own agency. We support ourselves, but not any one person of us does. It's a collective effort that we all give our time, our talent, and of our treasure to do what we can, when we can, where we can, to help support our spiritual community. And I ask each of you to do that when you are capable, and when and where you can, please do give. We appreciate that so much. Financially, which is a huge part of it. Unfortunately, in the society that we live in, we all have to have money. We cannot get by without money. I wish I didn't live in a society where money was required. Looking back over history, perhaps that was abused quite a bit. And so there is a responsibility that we each must take on for this to keep moving forward and to keep giving and keep doing and keep spreading love. We do that right there, yellow donate button on our website, in the app. There's also a basket at the back. Technology allows us to scan a QR code now. I do ask that you give when and where you can for that. Offertory affirmation. I ask you guys to say this with me. We'll go ahead and start. With God as my source of infinite supply, I give and receive with gratitude and thanksgiving. And I would just like to take a moment to thank the higher spirits, the greater I am, for the opportunity to share together that we have, the time that we've been afforded together. For the monies and the finances that we do our board with discernment and with heavy responsibility. We graciously thank you for all. Amen. We're going to move on now to happenings and events. Reverend Sandy will be back this week, and the Zoom group will resume on Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 7:15. They are studying the book called Holy Moments by Matthew Kelly. You guys are all welcome to join in that and partake of that. Susan can send you an email. You can also sign up in the foyer for a list of that. If you love books, Unity of Michiana has a bargain coming up for you starting next Sunday, November 10th, a week from today, and the following 2 Sundays after that. We are having a book recycling fundraiser in the foyer. We're going to be releasing the books in our bookstore and lending library, as well as a few gift items and used CDs. All items will be available for a love offering donation of any amount, and all money raised will directly support Unity of Michiana. One more thing I would like to include. As an effort to make our fellowship dollars go a little bit further, if any of you get any kind of coupons at home that you think might be helpful for us and make a nice little snack for us after service, bring those coupons in. You can leave them on the counter out back or hand them to me or Alex, either one directly. We'd be glad to have those coupons. They really help our fellowship dollars stretch and make it further, so we appreciate that. Now, John, what do we do next? We do our closing song, is that right?
Closing song, yeah.
All right, let's do it.
I'll just say a couple of words, though.
Yes.
I don't usually do this, but I think Tim showed that many of us have a lot of anxiety. I can see people out here that I love, that I'm anxious for. We don't talk about politics in church. We don't try to influence you, but just if we just remember what unity, some of the things that unity stands for is peace and freedom, and let that guide us, and hope and prayer that we have an outcome that will benefit everybody in the entire world. But I'm anxious. Tim is obviously anxious. Use your unity principles. There's a lot of things that are taught in this church that will help you. All right, should I begin? Stand up. Oh, the sun and the wind and rain bring everything we need. Father, sky above, Mother earth beneath. Peace on earth, peace on earth, peace on earth, peace on earth. Let's think about this. We do the song week after week. Let's try to really think about the words, because they're perfect. Oh, we're sisters and brothers, all the world over. Peace on earth, peace on earth, peace on earth, peace on earth.
And our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love of God. The power of God protects me. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. We are one. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week.
People get ready. There's a train coming. You don't need no baggage. You just all you need is faith. Hear the diesels humming. Don't need no ticket. You just thank the Lord. And people get ready for the train to Jordan, picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is the key. Open the doors and board 'em. That's what